Choice, your creative superpower. We have the power to manifest as we dedicate attention to our thoughts, but often miss opportunity to achieve the greatest good. Your superpower is waiting to be unleashed to unlock a fuller, more rewarding world for all. Join us every Thursday at noon Mountain Time for Choice, your creative superpower with Zoe Muro. And now, here's Zoe.
Hello, folks. Welcome to the New Thought Media Network. My name is Zoe Muro, and I am delighted and honored to be your host for Choice, your creative superpower. I'm coming to you from Oakland, California, and we're here each Thursday at 12 noon Mountain Time, 11 a.m. Pacific Time. If you're coming back, it's great to see you here again. If this is your first time, welcome. I'm so glad you tuned in. As a religious science practitioner with the New Thought Media Network and as a transformational coach, I have a ministry and a mission, respectively. Both are to help people live their lives to the fullest. And what we do here on this show is we explore how wielding your superpower for the greatest good can co-create a most fulfilling life experience. Today, in episode 74, we'll be exploring the relationship between choice and mystery. I thought maybe I should be wearing dark glasses and a hat and stuff, but nah, that's too goofy. Not that I dislike goofy, but we'll keep it this way. In any event, it might seem like an odd topic to relate to choice on the one hand, but on the other hand, it's actually perfectly reasonable. The dictionary, I always like to start at the dictionary. Sometimes it gives me something of value. The dictionary defines mystery as something that is difficult or impossible to understand or explain. There's a professor emeritus, actually, of transpersonal psychology at Liverpool John Moore University, goes by the name of Les Lancaster. He's also the founding director of the Aleph Trust Organization. And he describes it in this way. Let me bring this up. He says, in the simplest sense, a mystery is something we don't know the answer to. Mysteries are about trying to find answers. If we didn't ask questions about what is going on and why, we'd still be at the level of apes. Mysteries help us expand our horizons, and they give us a greater repertoire for interacting with the world. Take this down. When you look at it the way Professor Lancaster does, mysteries sound pretty fascinating. They're a real attention grabber. But here's a quote. Let me get back to where I want to be here. Okay, so here's another quote that I want you to take a look at. This is from Albert Einstein. Einstein says, the most powerful thing we can experience is the mysterious. It is the source of all true art and science. He goes on to say, he to whom the emotion is a stranger, who can no longer pause to wonder and stand wrapped in awe, is as good as dead. His eyes are closed. Well, kind of heavy-handed, but quite interesting. Considering what these people have said about mystery. Why do so many of us struggle with it? In what ways does mystery affect the choices we make? And what choices can we make that would help us address a mystery? Well, a significant factor, if not the greatest factor, in how a mystery affects our choices, how we perceive that mystery. Okay. Now, I want you to note, I'm not specifically talking about mysteries in general. I'm talking very specifically about one mystery. Okay. My reason is very straightforward and simple. One mystery. One mystery might be something that sparks the imagination, whereas another might seem to be kind of frightening. Let me show you this one. Okay, here we have a couple of boxes or containers, whatever. Okay, box on the left. Oh, that looks so inviting. When I see it, I think, oh, a present. I wonder what's in there. On the other hand, that basket on the right, well, it looks a lot like the baskets that snake charmers use. How about this one? On the left, an adventure. On the right, an adventure? Considering that the word adventure comes from Latin, meaning about to happen, yeah, sure. Each one's a mystery. Each one is an adventure. But just what is about to happen on each of these trails? Each presents a mystery, right? In each of these examples, each of the things that we saw in and of itself could be a mystery. But I would be willing to bet most of us would have a greater interest in resolving the mystery of the gift box and the welcoming trail than the alternatives. A mystery can easily evoke a whole series of choices, but they're often dependent on several things. For example, our impression of the mystery, our typical anxiety level, right? And we all do have sort of a threshold, if you will, and our risk avoidance level, same kind of a situation. Once again, a threshold. Any or all of those determine just how we will address a mystery. For example, someone who has a high risk tolerance and a typically correspondingly low anxiety level would likely to be drawn to resolve or engage in mystery, even when faced with potential danger. I know I certainly have those friends that you come to a cave opening and you look in and you go, There's always that one guy or gal that's going to look at it and go, oh, let's go in there and see what it is. Well, unless the person is simply foolhardy, their choices to address the mystery might be to evaluate the risk through information gathering, or they might mitigate the risk through planning and preparation. Of course, they might just be what some refer to as adrenaline junkies, someone with this compulsive need for excitement and adventure and even danger. Okay, in that case, plunging into situations others would avoid at all costs, it's simply what they do. There's an interesting distinction among mysteries that I want to draw out here. And that is that mysteries by their very nature are the unknown. Fair enough. However, there are mysteries that are not only unknown, but possibly unknowable. Okay. Ralph Gomery is the president of the Alfred P. Sloan Foundation. And he proposed that science is actually divided into three divisions. You'll see why this is important in a moment. The known, the unknown, and the unknowable. Okay, the known, the unknown, and the unknowable. I think it's safe to say that that distinction can easily change a person's choices. I mean, if you're a scientist, making the unknown known, well, that's what they do. That's their bread and butter. When faced with something that is potentially unknowable, their first response is, can I figure out how to make it knowable? Or I want to understand why it cannot be knowable yet. Okay? There's so many things in our lives that were completely unknowable at one time in our history, and yet now we have the ability to understand them and to know them. So a scientist employs their set of tools to gather information, to experiment, to explore. I find it ironic that the very word science originally meant knowledge. It comes from the Latin sciere, to know, as opposed to how it is typically defined today. Okay. Typically, what we see defined as science is the systematic study of the structure and behavior of the physical and natural world through observation, experimentation, and the testing of theories against the evidence obtained. Okay. Far cry from simply thinking that if it's scientific, it must be true, it must be accurate, it must be a fact. Well, if you look at the other side of the equation, much of what we once thought of as myth and magic has become scientifically proven knowledge. But it's important to also note that much of what we believed to be scientific fact has been shown to be an error. Okay, so knowledge, it's a very interesting thing. Mystery is an interesting thing. And knowledge and mystery sometimes go back and forth, back and forth. Oh, we understood it. Well, we thought we understood it. No, we don't. Personally, I find unknowable mysteries to be the most fascinating. Because there are times when I need to be able to not so much address the mystery as to not be stymied by it, not to be just kind of stuck in one place because it's a mystery. Right here, right now, I want to be perfectly clear and completely honest about this next point. Okay, personally, I believe in a higher power, a creative source from which everything and everyone began. That I would assume that's not much of a surprise to anyone tuning in here. But can I provide definitive, unassailable proof to someone who does not share that belief? No, I can't. Certainly not with what I'm aware of and knowledge of and have knowledge of now. Right? So there's a possibility, but at this point, no. My belief, my faith is based on an inner knowing. Okay, it's here. It's not here, pointing to my heart rather than to my head. My belief, my faith is based on an inner knowing, and an energetic force and a certainty that has always been a part of me, however hidden or muddled it might have been at times. I recently picked up a book called The God Delusion by an Oxford professor and the renowned atheist by the name of Richard Dawkins. Okay. Why would I pick up such a book since I do believe in God? Because I'm curious to see the arguments that people make. I'm curious to see where the sticking points are. And I'm just curious to see different perspectives. He presents his arguments why God does not, and he says literally cannot exist. To be honestly, I can't figure out how to challenge what he wrote in an equally demonstrative way. But nothing he wrote has changed how I feel. What I'm able to hold in my mind, in my heart, in my spirit, despite the mystery. That is my choice. Okay. By the way, Professor Dawkins does a masterful job of dismantling as many of the ways people have tried to prove the existence of God as he can. But for me, I stand comfortable in my faith. I'm always willing to entertain new perspectives and approaches, and I live my life accordingly. Now, because I have chosen to accept this mystery, the existence of God, therefore I have also chosen to live my life a certain way. Right? And that way is in accordance with very specific values and beliefs. And that way has led me to a demonstrably better life for myself and for those with whom I interact. I know it's a good choice for me. Another effect of mystery on the choices that we make, well, it could be avoiding to make a choice at all. At times, this could be absolutely self-limiting, but it really does depend on a few things. For example, what is the nature of the mystery? What is the mindset of the individual? What is the individual's desired level of certainty in this particular situation? I mean, finding a choice of where to safely cross a river is going to be significantly different from deciding what dish I want from an exotic cuisine that I know nothing about. I mean, yeah, I might eat something really strange, but if I need to get across that river, that's far more important. Okay, so I want to round out this exploration by looking at how our choices can affect mystery. Okay. So as we noted earlier, the first choice is, of course, whether we choose to simply accept the mystery as being unknown or unknowable. Then, following on from that, we get to choose the importance of our knowledge or our ignorance and how they could affect us, whether it's positively or negatively. From there, we choose how we want to respond. All right. So if I'm trying to decide which of these three things I want to take with me on a trip, that's one thing. If I'm looking at three things that I need for my health, for my well-being, considerably different. If I'm thinking about entering into one of those paths, and I have absolutely no idea what might be there, that's definitely going to have an effect on what I choose to do next. There are mysteries that we choose to accept as being unknowable. Okay, that's certainly possible. Many times, though, we can see that there's a gap in our knowledge, a gap that we can actually step up to reduce or eliminate. Okay. In that case, there's a reason why we might want to really dig into that particular mystery. If we accept that there is value in exploring and potentially learning, we may choose to pursue something despite the fact that it's a mystery, because we find benefit in the process itself. If we have developed a sense of confidence and self-efficacy, we are more likely to choose to work with mystery than to avoid it. And there are definitely people who just love mysteries. As soon as they see something as a mystery, that just sparks them and brings up this tremendous energy for them. But actually, depending on our mindset, we might be like that. We might actually encounter or seek out mysteries because we believe that by doing so, we can choose to actively seek a way to expand our horizons. There's a condition called confirmation bias, which can play a role in whether we choose to accept, reject, or explore a mystery. Based on the name alone, you can tell that it's actually not a particularly good thing. I mean, we're talking about a bias, right? Because it can lend certainty or disbelief where there's no basis for it. Okay, that's the problem with bias. And when you get right down to it, life in its enormity, in its complexity, its beauty, and its tribulations, it itself is a mystery. So I'll invite you to embrace the mystery of life, to choose to be open to the unknown, the unpredictable, and even the unexplainable. Choose to cultivate a sense of wonder and curiosity about our world, about yourself, about people that you know, people that you love, people that you consider like-minded individuals, people you consider to be unlike-minded individuals, people you don't know, people that you don't necessarily think that you care for. Okay. Cultivate that sense of wonder and curiosity and see if you can be or become comfortable with uncertainty, which allows you to embrace so many more mysteries. Choosing to embrace the mystery can lead to a deeper appreciation for the beauty and the complexity of life. And that can enhance a more open and flexible mindset. Imagine yourself sitting in a boat far from shore. You're able to see nothing but water all around you. Consider the mystery of the ocean or the sea, whatever it might be, the lake. Consider the mystery of how you, an individual, fit into that greater universe. Imagine staring up at the nighttime sky in the desert, someplace where there's no ambient light. The only light that you see is the light of the stars. Allow yourself to become engulfed in the magnificence of that seemingly limitless display of beauty and stars. The mystery of space, the mystery of the universe, the mystery of our place in that universe, the mystery of whether we're alone in the universe or not. Imagine resting quietly in a field of flowers, breathing in the sweet scents and taking in the riot of colors and thinking of the mystery of how each of those came about, how there are so many different varieties and why there are so many different varieties, how each of them grows, how each of them has their own different way of contributing to the ecology. Wonderful mysteries to explore. The oceans, the sky, the earth, the universe. Each is a mystery. And each of those mysteries is a gift. The next time you look in the mirror, know that you and each of us, in a sense, is a mystery, a wonderful mystery to be explored and understood. And each of us is truly a gift. Well, that'll do it for this week, folks. So what's on your mind regarding choice and mystery? Have you dealt with mysteries? And what was the experience that you had? Was it pleasant? Was it unpleasant? Was it a specific type of mystery that you enjoyed versus another that you did not? Let me know. I'd be very curious. Also, I'm curious if you have a topic that relates to choice you'd like to suggest for a future episode. I have gotten so many ideas from speaking to people about these episodes. So anything that's on your mind that you think, hey, that would make an interesting topic, I'd really like to know about that. Don't stand in the mystery. Send it on to me because I'd be more than happy to consider it. Would you like to have a counseling session, coaching session, or prayer session with me? Could do that as well. You can reach me here at zodimuro@gmail.com. Okay, zodimuro@gmail.com. Always interested in knowing what's going on for you. All right. I enjoyed this time together. I hope you did. And I hope that you'll spend some time looking at the New Thought Media Network. There's over 40 hours of programming each and every week. Today, for example, just a few things. 1 p.m. Mountain Time, the most delightful Reverend Gina Calvario Krupka presents The Joy is in the Journey. And her special guest today is Reverend Dr. David Alt. Spectacular. 2 p.m. Mountain Time, the Vibrant Living Hour, presented by Practitioner Ken Ludwig. 4 p.m. Mountain Time, Reverend Brock Ford presents his Spiritual Toolkit. So, we're always trying to bring the mission of New Thought to the widest audience possible. And that mission is not about getting people to believe as we believe, but rather it's about people seeing the joy and the possibility in New Thought. It takes time, it takes energy, it takes talent, and it takes treasure. So if there's anything that you can do to help spread the word, go on YouTube, go on Facebook, go on any Instagram, wherever, and let people know about the New Thought Media Network. And if possible, go to ntmedia.org/donate. Help us make this a world that works for everyone. Well, I look forward to seeing you again next week. Until we meet again, I hope that you choose well and that you choose wisely. Much love and many, many blessings. Namaste.
Choice, your creative superpower. We have the power to manifest. as we dedicate attention to our thoughts, but often miss opportunity to achieve the greatest good. Your superpower is waiting to be unleashed to unlock a fuller, more rewarding world for all. Join us every Thursday at noon Mountain Time for Choice, Your Creative Superpower with Zo Muro.